All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to kick it off. I know that we're going to have some people that join in a little bit later, and probably in a couple minutes, but want to kick it off. Did everybody have a good weekend?
Yes, Brandon, I had a great weekend.
Awesome. Perfect. Great.
Good weekend in Nashville.
Awesome. It's good to hear. Good to hear that, Lance. I know that we got some progress going on that site, so super excited for that for this week. All right, cool. So I'm going to kick it off. I got a couple things that I want to talk about, and then I want to open it up to questions or anything that you guys want to talk about for today. Couple different pieces of news that are coming out, which is really cool. The first is that we have an agreement now with a national sign company. So that being said, anybody that's doing a conversion or a kiosk or anything like that in the future, we have a company that will do everything from A to Z for you on signage now. All the way from you choosing what types of signs that you want. We've created a brand book, or they have created a brand book. You're going to be able to look at it and say, I want package A, I want package B, I want package C, and they all have different costs associated with them. But this company will create the sign, ship the sign, find a local sign company, and have the sign installed. And they also will take care of the permitting for you as well, so you won't have to do any of that. This is something that we've been trying to get kind of rolled out since Dave and Abdi joined. Dave has some really good contacts and was able to get those kind of started for us. And then I jumped on a call with them, kind of showed them what we were doing, and got some franchisees introed already. There's Mitch. Good morning, Mitch.
Morning.
Just going over, yeah, we got more people rolling in, so I'm gonna wait a few more minutes now. Morning, Jonathan. He can't hear me yet. Okay, so like I was saying, we have secured a national sign vendor called Effective Signworks. This is a contact that Dave had used prior in franchising, and we've created a brand book with them. They have all of our color schemes, all of the signage that we're looking for. So anybody doing stores in the future, they will cover your signage from A to Z, with creating the sign, shipping the sign, finding a local sign company to install it. They have a network of companies that they use all over the country, so it doesn't really matter where you are. And then they also handle all the permitting for you as well. So if you're in an area that has, particularly harder permitting, these sign companies already know what they need to be doing. All the signs meet all the codes that the municipalities need. And we can also build the sign to the municipality's recommendations or what they need. So some municipalities say that you are only allowed to have a backlit channel sign. You're only allowed to have a front facing gooseneck type sign, lighting. So they can handle all of that for you. If you are interested in using that company on a build that you already have going, because I know that there are some people that have had issues with signage, please get with me. I will do an intro with you. And if you have a store that you are going to be building out, there is a portion of that will be, that's part of the step-by-step guide now, is to getting them involved with the signage. We are not going to be ordering any more signage at the corporate stores and holding them here in the warehouse. We are going to be using this company. The corrugated plastic signs, we will still ship those out to you, or if you come to training by driving or however, we can give those to you. But eventually we will run out of those, and then the sign company, Effective Signworks, will start taking care of those as well. And then it'll just be added in as one big package. I do not have a link to the brand book yet. That is something that we are still finalizing and getting ready to roll out. They're doing it on a one-by-one basis when we intro you. But once that brand book is finalized, we will post it out for everybody to take a look at. But as of right now, once you get into the construction process, that's when you can get introed into the sign package program. Anybody that's already in that process, Ryan, I know that you've had issues with getting signs because of permitting. This company will help you with the permitting. They take care of all of it. So if there's anybody out here that is having issues with permitting, the sign company will handle that. They have local people that will install these signs and pull the permits. So there's local sign companies that understand what Mesa needs. There's a local sign companies that understand what Grand Rapids needs, or Wichita, Kansas needs, or so on and so forth. So that's the first portion of this morning. And then we'll go over questions and everything at the end. The next piece of news that I want to talk about is that on July 17th, it's a Monday. It is, I believe it's the third Monday of the month because we have training that month or that week. Yep, 17th. So the third Monday of July, we are going to have a town hall meeting. So everybody is invited. Costa will be sending that out this week. It is going to be it's going to be going over pretty much all the big changes that are coming up in the near future, as far as technologies and Square and websites, all that type of stuff. So we're going to have a town hall. It's going to be open for everybody to come on in and talk about what their thoughts are and suggestions that they might have. So mark that on your calendars. It is at 12 Eastern and it goes till 2 p.m. Eastern. So it's a 2-hour call. You don't have to be on it for all of it. But if you have the time to book out or block out that 2-hour window, I would, just so that you can be present for the entire thing. I do believe it is going to be recorded, so you can go back and listen to it. It will be recorded, so you can go back and listen to it whenever you'd like to, if you can't make it for the entire thing. And then I believe at the end, we are going to send out a kind of like a review on how you think things went, what additional questions that you might have. So if we have all the franchisees in here, then it could take a lot of time if everybody has a question. So we also want to give you time to be able to digest the information that we're giving you and write out what your thoughts are, and then send them back over to us. So me, Costa, Dave, and Abdi. All right. Anybody have any questions, anything going on this week or last week that you want to talk about? And we can go from there. Not all at once, please.
Hey, Brandon and everybody. I did just want to pipe in. I hope what we saw in Mesa is not going to be a regular thing, but it's like the dog days of summer here. We had our second slowest week of the year, and by like $20, there was a week in January that was a slightly worse. But hopefully that starts to pick up, and then we don't just always see June slow down once all the snowbirds leave. But it was an interesting one. So yeah, definitely you guys see trends where everything picks up elsewhere. I'm hoping this isn't the trend and that it changes, but it was a very slow week in Mesa.
Is this something that I need to go back and look at last year, but was last year the same?
Well, we had only, we opened in April, and so June was, I mean, May was a little better than April. June was a little better than May. Although this last week was kind of like our best week in June last year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so far in the rearview mirror, those numbers, that it was just shocking to have to have that happen. I mean, we laughed it off because I think it is just like a flukish thing. Everybody's on vacation and snowbirds left, and then there's a lot going on right now around here where they take people out of town. So, like in church yesterday, there was nobody there. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I can see that definitely. I know that the trends in Mesa are probably going to be a little bit different. They're probably going to mirror like what Florida looks like as far as the summers go. Because once the summers come, it gets pretty hot. And then all those people that don't want to deal with the heat of the summer, they'll go back up north. So I'm interested to see like next year what happens, because that's going to give us a little bit better of a trend marker that we can use.
Yeah.
Since last year we were definitely getting in the ramp up period with you, and so it's going to be a better kind of accurate, more reading next year for sure.
Yeah, I certainly hope it's not that a major drop isn't the trend. I mean, we could still pull out of this by having a decent end of, last half of June and basically match or be pretty close to what our May numbers were. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there that we're starting to see a little bit of a drop, which I was worried about that would happen after the snowbirds left. But hoping for better weeks ahead, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on those numbers, Ryan, and if there's anything that I can help with, just let me know. Or if I see anything, I'll reach out to you as well. Tam, when I saw that you had muted and unmuted for a couple times, was there something that you wanted to talk about?
No, I just was gonna ask Ryan, like, what do you see as being like a slow week? Like how many cars?
Well, let me just go back and look at it. What kind of the range is, because I don't even remember what because I generally am wanting to feel at all comfortable now. Want to see 100 cars or more in a week.
Mm-hmm.
And last week was 76. And so like we have not been that low in a long time, like a very, very long, like once, like I said, one other time this year we've been that low. And it was that was very normal. Like I said, that was a decent week a year ago. Like, oh, hey, look, that looks good, but your mind shifts as the storm matures, you get to a point, and we're there. We've been open over a year, and I've been feeling, I don't know, it's been feeling really good because our weeks are always over, it's like 100, 110,
Nice.
and feeling very, very confident in in those weeks. And so this was just hopefully an aberration. Hopefully it was just something that was way off. Everybody's out of town and not coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna depend on the market and what those environmentals are, demographics are. I know that, so something that Brian Badillo had put in the chat there was what trends do we see in the summertime for our corporate stores? And it really depends on where we are. So we'll take Chicago, for example. Chicago always gets busy in the summertime because they have such brutal winters. People kind of pack in for the winter, and then they start getting out and doing their normal routine, usually spring, summer, fall, and then the wintertime they try to limit what they do, their activity. But again, here in PA, in central PA, summer times are big, but it's really just weather dependent. If it rains, it can be a slow day for us in the summertime. Our Hanover store during the summertime, we'll say, just take Friday and Saturday, for example. I mean, we'll do 40, 45 cars. But if it rains on a Friday, then we'll do 25 cars. It really just depends on those environmentals and what we have going on that week. We had a huge event this weekend too, like a festival fair type thing. And so that probably took away from our numbers for a little bit as well. But vacationing is going to be a big one. as we go on and we can see the trends in different markets, we can plan for that. Again, ramp up is 9 to 12 months. We're looking at maturity at 3 years. So usually that second year number and then that third year number, we're really going to be able to build a report off of that and say, okay, this is what I need for this month. This is what I need for this season. These are what my goals are for this year. And we'll be able to pull that data from each different market and be able to create a database on what we're looking for and what we're seeing. So.
This is Jonathan. I had kind of a question. If anybody's put together any sort of brand, like brand awareness marketing campaign for their area. I'm going to take the silence as a no. But I met last week with a local guy. And he
Hey,
was
there's feedback coming up your mic, bro.
Oh, better.
I don't know, Jonathan, can you talk?
Yep. I met with a local advertising firm. Yeah, that's better, Ralph. Thank you, Brandon and Ralph. I just happened to, pass the billboard. The billboard was on a major highway about a mile west of my shop, and met with him. And it was a fantastic meeting, but I'm getting long story short, I'm just getting a presentation on Wednesday this week from this guy for something. And the goal for me was just to take this ramp up period and make it shorter, because I'm in construction for the second location and looking at real estate for a third. So having the Oklahoma City market, it seems, more like it's a overall brand awareness thing that can really shorten, if I can shorten those cycles to profitability, that opening cycle, that this could be worth it in the long run. But in the interest of sort of sharing everything, I'd be happy to share those with Brandon. So if he can distribute them as people want, if you think it's valuable.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they come back with and what we can share. I do know that this town hall coming up next month, we are going to be talking about our marketing and how that's going to be changing soon. So let's look at what they're offering and what their price points are and see that if it's something that is gonna benefit you. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say, hey, don't do this or anything like that. But I also don't want you throwing thousands of dollars into something that if we are coming up with a national program, that it might be better for you. We do have a couple things in the works right now that we are going to be announcing next month. Again, anybody that wasn't here in the beginning of this call, we do have a town hall scheduled for July 17th. That's the third Monday. It's from 12 Eastern until 2 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be going over all of the changes that are coming up soon, the changes in FDD, and answering any questions that anybody has. And if you're not able to make it, it will be recorded. And then at the end of it, again, I think this is going to be something that we're going to be doing for everything, is we're going to be giving you a form to fill out with any additional questions. I know that some people like myself like to take some time and digest information and come up with questions so that you can put them in long form and then send them out to us and we can answer them in kind of like a town hall review afterwards. I think that's probably going to be the best way, especially as we grow, when we get more franchisees open and more franchisees into the system. It's just a town hall could last 8 hours if we have, 150 franchisees that are open or that are interested in joining it. So that's the date and the time. If you have any questions, please let me know. Ralph, I see that you're unmuted. You have a question?
I was just going to speak to the brand awareness bit.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so one of the things I've been doing is, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, puff pieces or whatever through Facebook, and I will boost some of those posts. Things like the very first person that got their first free oil change for the 5 in a row. And, you know, some of like, it's just, I have a really good post where some kids are working with Danny on the oil change, or, you know, or learning, and I'll share that to different Facebook groups. And sometimes, again, I'll boost those posts just to get it out there, because it's not sales, because they're going to, people see that and it's just like, they're not even pitching me anything. It's just, hey, this is an oil change place. So yeah, that's, I think, a great way of people just getting the name out there in front of them. That way, when they see the advertisement later on, that it's not unfamiliar to them. It's like, hey, I've seen that before. It's not like, oh, brand new, I've never heard of it. It's like, that name is, I've seen it. Where did I see that before? Then they'll prompt to go look into it more, see your Google reviews. And I've had a number of people come back to me and say, hey, yeah, I saw this video you posted, and then I saw an advertisement, and I saw your Google reviews. And it's like the whole onslaught's wonderful. Like every bit of that, to get that feedback is wonderful.
Hey, Ralph. Yeah, no, I agree. And every time, like when I talk to you guys about going out and doing events, so like, let's say you guys go out this summer and you do a car show event thing, you know, take as many pictures as you can, because you can always use that type of stuff as just marketing and promotional material on your Facebook page. Like Ralph said, it doesn't have to be an ad that you're trying to sell something. And that's another way that you can be top of mind for your brand awareness and your local market. And that's why for me personally, I try to engage with the community as much as possible. So if there's something going on in your area, try to get into the event staff, say, hey, I'm a local small business. I'd love to go there and represent our brand and give out, you know, educational materials or whatever the case is. You can reach out to True Brand. They will send you pamphlets for anything that you want. If you want to talk about oil system cleaner, if you want to talk about high mileage additives, if you want to talk about the type of filters that we use, Service Champ can give you some material on that as well to hand out. I think going and educating the customers and just showing a face to the name is going to do a lot of good in your marketing in your areas. And I know that a lot of you guys are busy, but if you want to send your spouse, or if you want to send somebody from the shop, you know, if they have something going on a Sunday and you guys are closed, then you know, paying your techs a couple extra bucks for that day to go out there and work with you and engage with the crowds, or on Saturdays, having you go out to the shows and have your manager and your techs run the shop. You definitely could do that as well. But I think that there's definitely something to be said for putting out just, this is who we are. Hey, look at us. We're giving back to the community, so on and so forth. I really enjoy that type of stuff. Ralph, you posted up something and I commented from my personal page on it, right? Like, you guys are doing awesome. I love that video and that photo and all that. So,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Another thing, big one, we couldn't make it to an event not long ago, but we did send in 4 free oil change certificates, and we've had 4 or 5 people, John keeps a pretty good count of it, have come in that said, hey, I was at this event, I heard your name, and decided to check you all out. Too bad I didn't win. And then John will like, hey, you know what, we feel bad you didn't win, how about I give you 50% off today? And it just goes such a long way. And you know, you get one person happy, so they tell the 5 people, versus the one upset person tells the 500 people, of course.
Yeah, being able to leverage the community on the word of mouth, obviously that's marketing 101. I think a lot of good marketing always starts from word of mouth, and that's kind of why I push a lot of the organic marketing. Go out, meet people, shake hands, give out business cards, put them in, you know, car doors, at the local gym or at the local Target or Walmart or even local businesses. Put up flyers everywhere you can in local businesses that kind of catch the eye. Due for an oil change, or when's the last time you had your oil change? Like, when's the last time you checked for your oil change? Or because I think there's a lot of things that people wait until their vehicle tells them it's time. I feel like there's not as many routine scheduled type of people, right? Most people out there, they wait for their vehicle to tell them, or they glance up at their sticker. Excuse me. Or they glance up at their sticker and then they look at their mileage and they say, "Oh crap, I'm 5,000 miles over." And then they put that in there. So I think reaching out, being as much in the eyes of the consumer as you can organically will help. And that just helps your Facebook, right? So just for example, if you go out and you shake hands with somebody that's never heard of you before, and then 2 days later they're scrolling through Facebook and they see an ad, well, there's 2 times that they've seen our brand in 48, 72 hours. And then if they keep seeing it and keep seeing it, then that's how you get that top of mind brand awareness. Mitch, I saw that you're unmuted.
Yeah, I came in a little late. I think we're talking about just brand awareness in the area, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, car shows, I heard. I dropped off a bunch of cards and got stuffed in all the goodie bags. I had like 4 people come from that already. And there's a lot more car shows this summer. And then I did try a radio ad that was really slow in starting, but I've since got 6 customers come in, said they heard us on the radio, and now, they wanted to give us a try. So it took like 4 weeks, but now we're finally getting them in. And the neat thing is I was able to barter and trade radio time for gift cards whenever they show up.
Yeah, that's always cool. I think that me and Costa had a conversation a long time ago about you own a business and we've gone away from the bartering days. But I think it's pretty cool that if local businesses could still engage in the bartering techniques for payment on something. But yeah, I think that's a unique situation, Mitch. That probably doesn't happen as much, but I think that's a really cool idea that you were able to get in for that, and you're seeing return on that ROI. So that's good. We don't do radio ads or billboards. They don't move the needle for us. But if you're seeing something in your market and you want to give it a shot, then go ahead and see how it goes.
Exactly. I just wanted to give it a shot and see. I'm running it for 4 months and it was pretty cheap because of the gift cards and then the balance, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a close-knit community here, and a lot of people listen to this one Christian radio station. So, hey, if I get a couple dozen out of it, at least that'll start spreading word of mouth too.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I see that you have your hand up.
Yeah, it was just a follow-up to Mitch. Hey, Mitch, I was just curious, what is the ad? Is it like an actual ad, or the guys, like the host, just talking about?
Yeah,
Costa?
Yeah, they drafted the script, and I did marketing for 25 years, so I cleaned it up and changed it. And then they had a couple of voice actors that they were actually reading verbatim reviews from Facebook and Google, which are 100% honest and accurate. And then I wrote the script and then I did a little spiel. So if there's a way I can attach it here, I will try to. I don't know. We can help me with that, Brandon. But I have the audio file.
It's pretty professional.
It is not, Tamlin.
It's authentic and local. That's what it's supposed to be.
It's really good. Mitch is speaking in there. It's awesome.
Hey, Mitch, maybe you can
What's that?
maybe you can even turn into a post, right? So you can get the recording. I mean, that could be a post as well. Hey, have you heard us on the radio? Just just to extend the use of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll see if I can do that. I'm just not so tech savvy on this stuff, what we can do and what we can't do. So that would be great. I'll look into that.
Ralph can help you with that.
Okay, I'll figure out how to get this. Well, I can attach the script here. I'll put that on open and operating. I'll put the script on there, and I think I can attach the audio file too, so you guys can laugh at me.
Yeah, I'd be interested in listening to it as well. Yeah, if you want to throw in the open and operating, everybody will be able to hear it. So that's awesome. Okay, awesome. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to jump for the day. This is being recorded, so if anybody missed it, I will upload it onto the page or onto YouTube for everybody to go back and listen to it. I do want to kind of make a send off reminder, I guess. One of the things that we've been talking about throughout this whole process, even since the inception of franchising, is one, how much we value the franchisees' input on certain things. But we also wanted going back to the reason we franchised was, we've done a lot of this type of stuff before in our corporate stores. So when we go out to kind of review stores and see what's working and what's not working, we're going to try to use things that we know that work. And then it's on to the franchisee to use those tactics or not, or tweak them or use them the way that they want to. So we wanted to make sure that everybody kind of understands and remembers that we've done this, and we don't want to cater to the consumer base of the 1%. So, and this is kind of going off on, and I know that multiple people have talked about it, but the reminder stickers. We are working right now to get those back up and running for the QR code that takes you to the app that you can download. And I'm actually finishing, I was on an email thread this morning with the developer. It's going to be back up and running, but Mitch had at a point that it's only available to Apple users. That is true. It only takes you to the iOS store, the Apple store. We are working on getting it onto the Google Play Store. However, it takes a lot longer for the Google Play Store. But if you have a customer that says, hey, this isn't working for me, I don't think that that's gonna be the majority of people. I think most people, either one, aren't even gonna scan it, or two, they are gonna scan it, it's not gonna pop up, and we can just let them know, hey, we're working on getting that secondary for the Google Play Store available. But if we put them up there and it doesn't scan, there's always a talk track around that we can give to the customer. And actually, I think, to my point, I think that actually gives you another form of engagement with the customer, being able to talk to them about certain scenarios or whatever, or your text. It gives your text more training as well. But I just want to let everybody know that Apple Play Store will be up and running. We're shooting for by the end of the day. I'm still working with our developer on it. But if not, hopefully by the end of the week. But that was just one thing that we all here wanted to just remind everybody that, we do certain things for certain reasons, and we're able to have a talk track around that and engage with the customer. I know that sometimes it can be frustrating when things and technology doesn't work the way you want them to. I promise you, we're trying everything we can on our end to get that back up and running. So, but that was the last thing. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on Slack or shoot us an email, and we'll get back to you. Oh, also real quick, as you are putting in your request on the Oil U page, so if there's something that doesn't scan, and I wanted to let everybody know this, so Mitch has been just a rock star, sending me over some air filters and oil filters that haven't been scanning. As I upload them and fix them for Mitch, it fixes them for everybody. Okay, so if I see that, say Ralph and Mitch send in the same filter, if I don't respond that it's fixed, it's probably because I've already fixed it into the system prior, because somebody else sent it in, and it just hadn't hit your system yet. Those changes that we make with Square usually take 24 hours, unless your guys go in and swipe out of Square and open it back up. So just to be cognizant of that, it usually takes about 24 hours, or after midnight, it'll reset, and everything will work again, as far as scanning in the air filters and canisters. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and we will talk next week at 3:30 p.m. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care, guys.